It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we'll see who rules the skies in today's battle. It's the Cardinals and the Dirty Birds, and it kicks off next on Madden NFL 23.
First opened in 2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Arizona Cardinals and the Atlanta Falcons. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
Now the big leg of Matt Prater ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Atlanta. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Atlanta sending its offense out for the first time. And for the first time since 2008, it's a rookie who will handle things at quarterback. Out of Cincinnati, the third-round pick, Desmond Ridder.
And you know how scouts always talk about checking all the boxes? I think this young man does exactly that when you're looking for an NFL quarterback. Proven leader. Teams went 43-6 while he was in college. Has speed, dual threat ability, and production off the charts while he was in school, and also did a nice job of limiting turnovers. When you put it all together, there's a lot to be excited about for this young quarterback.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Got a man. It's Patterson complete. A second fake. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 13 yards on the game's opening play. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw here. That's to the speedster, Olamide Zaccheaus. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They'll get 13 yards for the second play in a row.
Charles, that's a route that you and I have seen time and time again in our years up in this booth, and that executed well and a great throw, too.
And sometimes, even if you know it's coming, the execution will trump whatever you do on the defensive side of the ball. Plus, it was a well-thrown football. A nice, healthy game right there.
Cliff Kingsbury saying, hey, let's take another look at that. He's going to throw down the challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So not successful there on the challenge, and he'll have to be careful from here on out because he'll only have one challenge remaining.
Let's do this, man.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They'll set up to throw. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher. That's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. They'll look to throw again.
And complete to Drake London.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A big pickup there, 20 yards as they convert on 4th.
Charles, their first drive of the game, and already they're taking chances here, but they get the 4th down conversion. I'm curious, do you think that that's something they game planned for on the opening drive if it came up, or is that something that happened organically?
I think that they game planned for it, Brandon, and when you think about it, let's just say it. The word analytics is a big part of how everyone looks at a game nowadays, but it's not just the analytics. It's a coach willing to be daring, willing to be bold, and they certainly were there.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Zacchaeus here hauling it in.
And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback? So a roughing the passer penalty there, CD.
And we know that these pass rushers love to get after rookie quarterbacks, but they've still got to do it within the scope of the rules. And that time, the hit came just a little bit too late. And the official won't even think twice about pulling his flag on that one.
And it's caught. Touchdown.
Parker Hesse
from 6 yards away.
And the Falcons are on the board first here this afternoon.
Walking into the stadium, we saw a ton of people donning the jerseys of this rookie quarterback, so you know they love that opening drive, and he throws a touchdown pass.
He gave a little bit of confirmation about what they had hoped, right? Because they thought they had a quarterback. They're thinking they have a quarterback. You do this, they believe they've got a quarterback. Look at them elbowing each other up in the stands. That's our guy.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive in total 8 plays. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown.
Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. This fielded right at the goal line.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here come the Cardinals now for their first drive. They are led out by the final quarterback selected in the 2019 draft, the former Nittany Lion. It's Trace McSorley.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
Here's McSorley on 1st and 10. And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now.
Charles, already trailing by a touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down, then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going into the quarterback on the expected passing situation.
McSorley from the shotgun. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away.
Avery Williams deep for Atlanta.
A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So for the 2nd time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense.
Well, just 2 series in here, Charles, but everything's gone to script so far. They got a touchdown on their first drive. Their defense holds, and now they've got a chance to take a 2-score lead.
And to co-sign with you, exactly the start they scripted up. And really, that kind of start, that can set the tone for the game for them.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. And this defense not giving them anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Nice run defense presented there, and what I mean by that is discipline. Guys filling the right gaps in the right holes, no one over-pursuing, and making a very nice play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Here's Algier again on 2nd down.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Call it an 8-yard gain, much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on 3rd down.
Algier will try to pick it up.
And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
But what were they thinking on defense, though? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
On 1st and 10, it's Algier.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
On 4th down, Bradley Pinion on to punt for the Falcons. Greg Dortch back deep.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
McSorley, 1st and 10. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he'll get this to the 22. So they began the play at the 11, and it's a gain of 11. 1st down.
That's his first catch of the game, and an impressive one against multiple defenders.
And how about that start? Really aggressive. Yeah, there was double coverage out there, but that didn't stop them at all. They went right at it and defeated it on that play.
Looking to throw on 1st and 10. Here's McSorley.
Finding his target, it's Trey McBride.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. McSorley sets to pass. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
It's a nice zone breaker right there. Take the tight end, move him out to the slot, then have him run a corner route versus the zone coverage, which means he's going to be behind the shallow coverage and ahead of the deep coverage, put the ball right on him.
Throwing is McSorley. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. So the completion gets him just a yard, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Can you do any more work or make it more dramatic for not much gain than what we just saw there? Did you see how his toes got down? Tip-tap, got him down. But what did he get out of it?
He sold the sizzle. He just had no steak.
I mean, was it 1 yard?
Yeah, plays like that, you at least expect a 1st down. They're just 1 yard. Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
It's pretty early in the game, but they've already tried to establish him not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Didn't happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them try again shortly.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now McSorley. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
Now Andy Lee will come on to punt this one away. Going to be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory.
Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ritter gets them ready.
At their own 13.
Gives it to Algier to start things off.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Flush to his right. Marcus Golden, too much to handle that time. Gets the sack.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
Ritter and the Falcons need an answer and a big play here on 3rd and long following the sack.
Back to throw now in his own end zone. Forced out to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. He certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Here's McSorley to throw. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. Now the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up 2nd down.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. And that is incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. But it proved up to the task and force the incompletion.
Here's Andy Lee now as he's on to punt for Arizona. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That'll be taken in by... And a loose football. And this is recovered by the Cardinals. These defenses have become so opportunistic, and no matter what you're playing, in this case wide receiver, you got to be careful.
You certainly do, because there is a phrase in today's football that we use all the time: completing the process of the catch. Well, it's after you do that where the trouble begins, right? Meaning you've tucked it away, you're trying to get downfield, but someone's always coming up trying to rake at the ball and knock it free.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on 1st down. But give them credit, they recovered in time to deny him the 1st down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short, so that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Here's 2nd and a yard. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with counter. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Able to get this one to McBride. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Connor up the middle. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
Here's 2nd and 2 now from the 3. Out of the shotgun, McSorley. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. From 3 yards out. And the Cards are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On second, here's Algier. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll run for it with Algier. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. These two teams all tied after one. Back now in Atlanta, second quarter action. The Falcons with the football. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
The Falcons on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Offensive line wasn't set. There's the flag, and 5 yards back they go.
Quarterback has to look around and make sure that his team is ready to go. Sometimes the quarterbacks go faster than is necessary.
And a manageable 3rd down becomes a lot less manageable. 3rd and 7 after the false start. He'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The football going back over to Arizona now. And they were good last time out with a touchdown drive. This go-around, it's not going to be very easy starting from inside their own 5.
But they shouldn't be daunted by it. You work on this the entire offseason. You work on it in practice. It's called coming out session. Start the ball inside the 5, start on the 5, on the 10. They should be ready to go.
From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he gets it to the 30 when it's all said and done. 25 yards that time.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did, and they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He'll dump this one off to Connor. Call it a gain of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Still 9 remaining on 2nd down.
They run behind center with Connor. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Andy Lee now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be Falcon football.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ritter gets them ready.
Just shy of the 30.
Beginning on the ground with Patterson. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. They'll set up a throw. And he'll complete this one to Patterson. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Give him the completion. No gain, but let's focus in on that tackle. Open field tackling, the hardest thing to do in the game, I believe.
But when you get outside the tackle box, it becomes a numbers game. The defense had more than they could block. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Another completion right back to Patterson. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Walked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Now here's Bradley Pinion now.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away.
And here comes Dortch on the return.
And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They'll begin with much more advantageous starting field position than they did on their last drive as they come up here 1st and 10. Off of play action, it's McSorley.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Now back to throw. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on 2nd down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He doesn't scramble for a first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
And this is going to be incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here's Williams to return. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10.
The Falcons offense set to go. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ritter gets them ready.
At their own 23.
1st down, and they'll start with Algier.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Zaven Collins there to make the play defensively. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Got a man. It's Patterson complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The offense on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2.
3rd down, here's Algier.
And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
So 1st down, and they'll stick with Algier. And this will be a Falcons 1st down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Looking to throw. And incomplete, he dropped it. Maybe a rookie mistake there. 2nd down. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down.
This pass is caught by London.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 39. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And they'll work this down inside the 30. So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. Again, he'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
And he is going to have a Falcons first down, as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction, but was able to track the ball in another.
Back to throw again.
And a dangerous throw there, incomplete. He threw that into coverage. It was nearly intercepted.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
He'll decide to keep this once more.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face, because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Koo knocks this one through the post.
And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive.
DeAndre Hopkins, he's all alone.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run on the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. On the handoff, Connor. And a nice pickup there as he'll get about 9, and that will lead us to a stoppage here at the 2-minute warning. On 2nd and 1, McSorley.
And this will be swung out here for counter.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. That play gets him 6 yards and sets them up with a 1st and goal.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Give the sack to Lorenzo Carter.
But he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their 2nd, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Two straight sacks have them backed up now for a 3rd and goal. McSorley from the shotgun. Throw left side, hauled in by McBride. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. So on is Matt Prater now to try a field goal here. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Prater's kick is good, and that will knot us up at 10. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. And the Falcons now going to go on offense late in this first half. And they'll have 50 seconds to work with, so that really plenty of time to try to put something together.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Rush coming, and he's taken down. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second.
Well, when you time those screen passes perfectly, they can work perfectly, but that time it took a little too long to develop.
And you zeroed in on exactly what makes that play go. Timing. Because if the timing's off at all, those unblocked defenders coming at the quarterback, they'll put him on the deck.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Back to throw. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. So we have reached halftime here in a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Arizona. And in a tie ball game, they've got to be asking themselves, what can we do to get this passing game on track for the second half to come?
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard.
Taking it about the 1. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Cardinals ready to go here to start the third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Third quarter starts with a run from Connor. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Throwing is McSorley.
On the slant, complete to Hopkins.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Now McSorley. And that is incomplete. So a stop here defensively to start this 3rd quarter. Just what's needed in a tie ball game.
Yeah, good chance to build back some momentum on the defensive side of the ball. In fact, what they've done is give their offense a nice push in the back as they get ready to take the field.
Here's Andy Lee now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the 2nd half now.
Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ritter gets them ready.
At their own 28-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. So the completion good for just 3. And it'll be 2nd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There's absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Back to throw here.
Got his man. It's London.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10, down at the 33. He'll look to throw. Complete to Zacchaeus. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Dumps this one off to Algier.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
So on 4th down, Ritter heads to the sideline. Younghoe Koo gets set for the Atlanta field goal.
He hit his first one. This from 44 yards out now.
Koo knocks this one through the post.
And they will take the lead at 13-10.
So chalk that down as an 8-play drive, capture the field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
Looking to throw on 1st and 10. Here's McSorley. He finds Hopkins complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding goal.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. McSorley sets to pass. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
Here's 2nd and 10.
From the gun, a give to Connor.
And he'll get a couple up to the 29.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Out of the shotgun, McSorley. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz as they look to throw. Got a man, it's Patterson, complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. And that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Another completion right back to Patterson. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
And he'll get this to the 32.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Off of play action, it's McSorley. Over the middle, complete. That's Brown.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
McSorley, 1st and 10.
That's complete to McBride. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2nd and 2.
Here's McSorley to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. The defense stiffens to force fourth down following that first down gain of 8.
Well, yeah, if you've got the defense laying back, maybe that option works. But if you're coming hard on third down,
It doesn't work because you force the hand of the quarterback and the runner too quickly. And most of the time, unsuccessfully.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. Prater's kick is good, and that's going to tie us at 13. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. All square now at 13 all as he sends this one away.
and Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Atlanta prepped and ready for its next possession. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Yeah, and this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. They'll look to throw here. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
I haven't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried running through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Kadarius Hodge has it complete. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. So it's a quarter that saw these two teams trade field goals here as we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Algier now up the middle.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Algier again on 2nd down.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Now back to throw. Buying time to his left. Zacchaeus here hauling it in.
And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Algier going straight ahead.
Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Cardinals have got it, going the other way. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over. Yeah, I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
The Cardinals offense ready to set up shop. The fumble recovery certainly has put them in the driver's seat. 1st and 10, all tied here in the 4th. Throwing is McSorley. This is taken in by McBride.
And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
Here's McSorley on 1st and 10.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Now McSorley. That one into the hands of Hopkins downfield.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
McSorley once more looks to throw. And this will be swung out here for counter.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4.
McSorley from the shotgun. This one grabbed by A.J. Green.
And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 21. 23 yards the pickup there.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Here's a handoff to Connor. And he stopped immediately there. There to stop him on the defensive side, Lorenzo Carter.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Connor going to get it again on second down. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On third down, it's Connor. And they're going to get him down shy of the first at about the 13-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a fourth down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to break our fourth quarter tie. And the 38-year-old vet able to split the uprights, and they have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Atlanta regains possession of the football. And they really need to forget about their last time out, the turnover that led to a field goal. So now they try to regroup, trailing in the final quarter. Obviously, they'd love a touchdown, but 3 would suffice. Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ritter gets them ready at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that, nearly picked off. So it would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's second down. I guess they're in a situation now, fourth quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
To the sideline, and that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down. On 1st and 10, it's Algier. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll look to throw, and this is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bird. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 41-yard line. A nice pickup of 17 yards.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and we watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 41. They'll drop to throw into the hands of London. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They'll look to throw again. And his throw here's incomplete.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
Let's focus in on what we got to do here. Let's go, fellas. We got to be big time.
And the question now, can they get closer on 3rd down? A field goal from here, you're looking at right about a 52-yarder. Back to throw again. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And instead of tying it up, they'll remain down by 3. A 4th quarter miss like that, there is no lonelier feeling than that kicker right now.
As we all know, a lot of these games, they come down to special teams. And when that chance comes, you have to perform in order to help your team get over the top.
Could have tied it. Instead, they remain down 3. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Looking to throw on 1st and 10. Here's McSorley. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
Now, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Another try after the first down sack. McSorley
able to get this one to McBride.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back. But now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. McSorley sets to pass. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Now that's a killer because you think you've got it absolutely covered, and then he hot-foots it out of there and picks up a first down. Drives you crazy as a defense.
Looked like, you're exactly right. Looked like a for-sure stop on third, and then the tables turned. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. Got him in. It's Brown. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They face a second down, but they are in field goal range. Now Connor. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. They'll run here with Connor. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. An ideal down and distance to try to finish this thing off. 2nd and inches. They'll look to run with Connor. And he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Cardinals are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. What a huge touchdown that was, obviously, here in the late stages of the 4th quarter as they try to put this one away.
And, Brandon, when they watch the film after this week, they'll be very proud of every rep if they close this game out. Just a few snaps remaining. They can't relax just yet.
Now Prater to add the PAT. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it was a touchdown run by James Conner that was the exclamation mark.
I'm coming! I'm coming!
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. From out of his end zone, it's Avery Williams. And he returns this to the 22. So now Ritter and the Falcons down by 10. Just over a minute, 40 to play. They'll need a score here and also likely an onside kick recovery. But first things first. 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Connecting with...
And it's out. He put it on the carpet. And the Cardinals have got it. Going the other way. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
So out now come the Cardinals. And barring mistakes, they should be able to kneel this one out and finish it off. And there's only 1 timeout remaining on the defensive side of the ball, so that doesn't really come into play either.
Connor up the middle. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run.
And we'll see if the defense wants to stop it as they take the knee.
Here we go.
14-yard line, 2nd and 11.
Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Connor. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10.
87 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
So it's a win here for the Arizona Cardinals. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.